tiny. Wait, there we go. There we go. Okay, can everyone hear? It's been so long since I've done a live stream, so I need to know if everyone can hear me. Okay. I don't know when I used to live stream a lot. I don't know when I live streamed last, so I need to know if everyone can hear me. Let me know. Otherwise, I'm pulling up my writing project, and then I'm gonna wait for everyone to show up, and then we'll get started in a minute. In the meantime, I'm gonna introduce you guys to my doll, who's gonna be hanging out with me while we write today. This is my one and only American Boy doll. Oh, am I a little quiet? Okay. Let's see. It should be my usual microphone. I can just talk louder. We'll try that. Or move it a little closer to me, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done a stream, so trying to remember how to do all of this. So this is my one boy doll that I have, and the reason he's hanging out with me during the stream today is that what I'm going to be working on tonight is revisions to the novel that I'm working on, and he's one of the characters in the book. So this is the only like the American Girl website has the like create your own dolls. I don't get those because I like to customize them myself. Oh, there's Gaia. Gaia, come here, baby. There's my puppy. Gaia, you want to say hi? You want to say hi to everyone? You want to say hi? Who's a good girl? Are you a good girl? Yeah. So I decided I wanted a boy doll for because I have dolls representing the main characters in this book that I'm currently revising. And so I have dolls for like the main character and her love interest and her sister and her two female friends, but she also has a male best friend. And I was like, I need a doll for him too. So I decided I was gonna indulge and treat myself, get my first and only like American Girl create your own, like with the generator. I do still need to modify him a little bit because they didn't let you choose eyebrow color in it, and his eyebrows are a little light for his hair. But this is Chewy. It's spelled Chuy. It's short for Jesus. And he's a really cool guy, and he's a really good friend, and he's one of my favorite side characters I've ever written, and I love having him around. I just put the denim jacket on him recently. I got this from Maple Leaf from the Canadian Girl Dolls store, because as I've said before, the Canadian Girl Dolls, they're really killing it on the outfits lately. And then he's wearing Nenea's shirt, and I thought he looked super cool. So he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. I'm gonna say hi to everyone in the comments. I'm gonna get up my writing project, and then we will get started on the stream and talk about the charity we're raising money for and all of that good stuff. I hope you guys are excited for creative night. So Megan says leaving a comment so I can come back later. Please do. That would be awesome. 69 snarky sharks. It has been too long since I caught a Savvy stream, and I'm here for it. It's not just you. I haven't streamed in a long time because I've been so into making scripted and edited videos, so I haven't streamed in God knows how long. So it's the first time anyone's seen me stream in a while. Whitney says, I've never been to one of these on your channel. Very excited to have you. Armin Gav is here. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Jester's here. Hello. Armin says that American Boy doll looks like a they, them. I can say that I'm non-binary. Yeah, I could see it. You know what? I don't know if do I currently have any non-binary dolls? I might not. I might need to have get a doll to be a non-binary character because I'm not sure I have one yet. I do have one doll who is canonically trans. That's Charlotte back there with the pink hair. If you guys remember, we write her. We were writing her stories on streams on this. Step Lively says I just turned my TV. Awesome. Oh my god, our hats are matching. I didn't even notice that. That wasn't even on purpose, but oh my god, that's so fun. I just thought, so like, this is him without a hat. I think he looks cute with it. He looks cute both ways, I think. I think this doll's just adorable. I love him. I just need to paint his eyebrows a little darker because they don't really match his hair color. I think that is a flaw of the create your own doll generator. It was fun to do as like a one-time thing, but I think if you choose hair color, you should also be able to choose eyebrow color because his eyebrows are just way too light for his hair. It doesn't make sense. But there he is. I love it. Thank you. Let's see. Jester says, I'm editing my first ever novella. It's the enemy of my life. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the editing and revision process can be so frustrating sometimes. Tonight I'm working on, so as I've told you guys before, June of 2026, I have my novel Not Straight coming out, and that book is about, it's a YA novel about a girl with scoliosis who falls in love with another girl in physical therapy and realizes her spine's not straight and neither is she. And I've been working on this book. It was my NaNoWriMo 2023 project, so I've been working on this book a while, and I was having trouble, like, finishing the, like, figuring out what I need to change, and then the universe was like, what if you hurt your back and went back to physical therapy for inspiration? So, so that now we're in the revision phase. Devastacia's here. What's up, Devastacia? I'm glad you remembered this too. Is that Zoe? Zoe says, love you. Thank you. I love your Clippy profile picture. Super cute. I do want to do more streams for like writing things. Writing streams can be really fun. And also this week I want to try, because so I have 2 more videos coming out this year. I'm going to do a video on Friday, December 5th and Friday, December 12th. Those will be my last 2 videos of the year. But I also want to try recording some like reaction videos as like bonus Patreon content and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. First stream since my bestie introduced me to your channel. Well, tell your bestie thank you for the referral. I appreciate it. Cookie, is that Cookie Mocher? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. Are you going to write Charlotte? I'm not writing Charlotte today. That would be fun. We do need to do more streams to write more books about Charlotte and Sophie. Sophie's back there too. All of our progressive American Girl dolls we were writing stories about. No, today we're going to do, this is like, so you guys know NaNoWriMo, right? I actually did a big video essay last year on NaNoWriMo and like their downfall. So NaNoWriMo is, I guess, out of business. They were, if you've seen my video on that, you know they were having some pretty big issues running things. And then the new writing challenge I found from the author threads community, and I will pull up my page for this in a second, but it's I'm doing a different November writing challenge, and this one is we're trying to raise money for Feeding America, because so many people's SNAP benefits have been getting cut off because everything's just a mess this year. So I'm going to be working on revising my novel that's coming out next year, and I gotta get up a timer. This has been so long, I gotta find a timer to get up for this. Okay. Oh, his hair's so cute. I'm glad you like it. This hairstyle in particular was one reason why I was like, yeah, I want to get this doll. MSJT says, hello, I might not be around for long. I'm in the UK and it's just after midnight. Understandable. It's Greek, it's confusing, yes. Sarah, Wandering Photo Magician, is here. What's up, Sarah? Good to see you. Oh, yeah, yep. I forgot, because when I used to stream a lot, I gave some people a little admin wrench, so, yep, Sarah, you're still an admin. Do you have any tips for younger authors who want to write professionally? Oh, that's a good question. I'm so sorry if my answers are not good to this. I have trouble with, like, giving tips to people, because, like, I don't know what part you're struggling with. There's so, I could go off about anything, but, like, I don't know, for me, I just, like, I think it's important to always remember that writing is fun. I always would see so many memes online and stuff that would be like, it's so painful, writing is so hard, you sit down and you bare your soul to the world. Like, I'm sure that's true, but also, like, it's supposed to be fun. I might talk about this in a video at some point, but I love that, Chuck Tingle was talking on, I think, Threads at one point, and I love the way he said this, because I couldn't agree with him more, and it was basically about how, like, when musicians, right, like, when musicians just, like, get out their guitars and make loud sounds and do whatever the fuck they feel like, people are like, that's punk rock, right? But when writers do that, people, they have such a high standard. They're like, oh, it's got to be, like, literary, and no, to me, just write whatever the fuck you want, just get it out there. I write some stuff that's absolute shit, and I still put it out there. And maybe that'll ruin my credibility, I don't know, but, like, I just want to keep writing all the time, so, like, I feel like, to me, it's about not treating writing as this, like, I don't know, this huge hurdle. Instead, it's just about self-expression. That's how I see it, at least. Mayonaka Midnighter, welcome! Nice to see you, too. Christian Wright says, hi there, good luck with the edits. I've just been in late stage edits of my 4th book as well as edits for my 2nd edition of books. But books 2 and 3, is that light polishes and like you're lightly polishing them, or like or is that like light polish, like you have light Polish words? I say that because the book I'm writing now has one character who's Polish American, so it does have light Polish in it. But welcome. Melissa says, happy to hop on for a bit. I'm working on my first novel and I've been watching some of your old videos. Welcome, so glad you're here. Oh, you used to be a NaNoWriMo organizer. Oh my god. That's so cool. I'm so sorry for everything that NaNoWriMo organizers had to go to because, oh my god. Frigatoni, have you heard of that Mario guy? Everyone calls him Super, but I don't get the hype. A region split from Nano in 23 after I stepped away, and they're absolutely rocking it. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Mayonaka Midnighter says, I'm doing a 100 character challenge for the month. Gotta create and place 100 character NPCs in my TTRPG story world setting. That is so fun! I love that! That sounds so fun! One of our local libraries is hosting a Novelvember soiree this week. Dress fancy and eat snacks while we write. Oh my god, that sounds so fun. I love that so much. I love that. Okay, got it. All right, so here's what we're doing today, y'all. So this is for, I'm gonna pull this up and I'm also gonna put links in the chat. Armin says, I love the idea that what I write doesn't have to be this highbrow art or even like good or whatever. Yeah, that's how I feel. I know that like when I did that one video about the book Age of Scorpius, and a lot of people were just, that's fair, like, right, if you were disappointed in the book being bad, that is totally valid. From everything I've seen and from like highly recommend reads with Rachel's review, it was really in depth. The book does seem like it was really bad, right? Like, and that's fair. At one point people were like, when I said a lot of us have seen worse, and like I looked at samples and I was like, I've seen worse, a lot of people didn't believe me, but I'm like, no dude, a lot of writing is weird. I also watch a lot of really weird low budget B movies. Some of them have a lot of heart, some of them are absolute shit, and like I'm gonna watch them and have fun. Right now I'm reading Empress Teresa, as I mentioned in videos, and that's considered like one of the weirdest books of all time, and it's kind of like what The Room is to movies, this is considered for books. And I'm loving it. By loving it, I don't mean that, like, I think this book is batshit insane, but, like, I'm glad it exists because I'm having a wild time. Same thing when I read Colleen Hoover, right? Do I think her stories are good in the sense that, like, they provide, you know, a good role model? No. Do I think that they provide, like, do they have, like, good messages? No. Are they entertaining and I'm interested in what someone could have been thinking to create this? Yes, and I think that's kind of what art's about. So I'm also just very like freewheeling when it comes to that kind of thing. Yeah, reads with Rachel's just great in general. She's awesome. Oh yes, I agree. Those are totally valid critiques about I don't know if this is, I just saw this on Threads recently. I think the author of Age of Scorpius has come out as trans or non-binary, I'm not sure, and now goes by Milo. Not positive. Don't want to get it wrong. But either way, I agree about throwing their editors under the bus. That's not acceptable. Yes, like that, when you're talking about like the behavior of authors, like yeah, like some nasty behavior, can't excuse that. Totally agree. Empress Teresa does need a bad live action B movie. To be fair, I'm in like chapter 3. This book is taking forever to get through. I hope it doesn't disappoint you guys, but I may have to release that review in parts. JV Red 1106. I was watching her giant Gamergate. Oh my god, the Gamergate video. I looked back at that video sometimes and I'm like, there are probably things I would do different in that video in retrospect, because wow, that was a way bigger I don't think I was ready for that. Honestly, the undertaking of that video. I've seen some people really liked it, some people have critiques of it. I think both views are valid. Not both views of Gamergate. Like if you think that Gamergate was like a normal and okay thing to have done, then no. But like I think people's views on my video are like, I think I could have done better looking back, but I was out of my depth for that one. I'm still glad I gave it a shot though. Eggs, lots of eggs says, just read The Absolute True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Alexi Sherman. I read that a few years ago. I thought it was really good. Sailor Twilight, I'm so glad to make a live stream. So glad you're here. Um, awesome. So glad you guys are here. I'm gonna pull up the page right now to show you guys what we're doing. So this is Writers Against Hunger, and this shout out to the author Lissa K. Adams, who organized this page. As you guys can see, the thing as a whole right now has raised over $20,000. How cool is that? So I'm gonna put this link up, and I'm gonna put up the link to my page for it. Let me find that as well. Where's my page? I had this up on my phone earlier, and I'm like trying to, oh, my page right here. There we go. There we go. So that is the link for Writers Against Hunger. And then this is my page. Whee! There we go. There is my page on the Writers Against Hunger. I'll post that link in the chat as well. So that is the link to this. In between each writing sprint, we'll stop and like talk about donating to this and take a look at how things are going. Nobody is required to donate to this, obviously. If you do, I'll give you a special shout out and a thank you and all of that, of course. But yeah, I made my goal $5,000. I don't know if that's reasonable. I just didn't know what to set it at, so I was like, oh, $5,000, that sounds like a good goal. So far, there's been $225 raised. That's awesome. So I put in a $100 donation when I launched the page, so then two other people have donated another $125 total, which is awesome. I wonder if I can see. Oh yeah, donations. Let's see. Oh, awesome! Look at this. So Anonymous donated $50. Shout out to Anonymous. Sam Bissinger, $25. Awesome. Thank you, Sam. And then Richard Watkins put in $50. Thank you, Richard. That's awesome. So this is my page for the Writers Against Hunger Challenge. I know as, for people who are outside the US, some crazy shit's been going on here, and I'm sure you guys have probably been hearing about it because I can't, it's oh my god. Anyway, so a lot of people's SNAP benefits were cut, in part because Trump is holding them hostage because he is an absolute demon. And as a result, a lot of people have had to rely on like food banks and food pantries, and I've been trying to donate to ones, in my neighborhood and on the north side of Chicago and things like that. When it comes to like big food drives, I remember I was reading about especially how it's often much more productive to just do financial donations rather, like, which doesn't mean like don't give food, right? Like if you want to donate food, that's great too. But I know that a lot of these places can like when they're buying in so much bulk, right? When you buy things in bulk, it's a lot cheaper per item, so they buy a lot of things in bulk, and as a result, they can get like 2 to 4 times as much food for the same cost as we could get it for buying it in smaller quantities because they're doing it on such a large scale. So a lot of times financial donations can go even further for that reason. So that's why I was like, this is great. We should do this. Yeah. Cookie says, my family used to be on food stamps. The only reason we got by was help from family and the government. This world needs more love and community. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. There is a lot of like, I know that like the idea in the US is like, we're all about freedom, we're all about individuality and individualism, and it's like there's a line where it crosses from being like individuals should have freedom to do what they want to the mentality of no one owes anyone anything, and that's not a good, like, as humans we're supposed to want to help each other, right? Yeah. Krista says that 2012 to 2016 era of anti-SJW stuff is one of my special interests. I've seen your Gamergate video like 4 times on double speed. Shout out to being able to listen to me on double speed. I get so many comments from people telling me I talk way too fast, which is probably just the debate team kid in me. It's one of the few qualities I share with Ben Shapiro, that and being an ENTP, I think. So anyway, this is the link right here. So we're gonna keep shouting this out as well. To be fair, like, this person says I listen on 1.25. Okay, I listen to my own videos on 3 to 4 times speed when I'm reviewing them, but that's because I filmed them, right? So I already know what I said. But, like, if I'm uploading it and I just need to check it for mistakes and make sure it all uploaded properly, I'll be like, oh, I'll listen to that on, like, 4 times. And I'm like, wow, this sounds great, but that's because I said it. I wrote it. I know what I said, you know? I'm glad you like how fast I talk. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So we are... Oh, $2.50. Somebody else donated. Maritza donated $25. Shout out to Maritza. Maritza is a great name, too. There was an American Girl doll named Maritza. I never got her. But looking back, I probably should. American Girl had a great series called World by Us that they discontinued. It was modern characters dealing with modern social issues in the world. I got Yvette, who's the girl who upcycles fashion and cares about the environment and cleaning things up because she wants to save the planet. And her books also have a message about combating racism because she comes from a mixed race background. And then there was a book I have. McKenna is one of the other dolls, but I repurposed the doll. That's the doll who's playing Simone, who's the love interest in the book. So I got all these dolls for her, right? Maritza is the one I don't have, but Maritza's stories are about immigration, and I think that we need more, because we had Kirsten was the immigration story, but we needed an immigration story from like Hispanic and Latino community, and so Maritza did a great job for that. Just me going off about my special interest, I'm sorry. Anyway, shout out to Maritza, who donated $25 to the challenge. You share a name with the Great American Girl doll. Let me see. Only the Supreme Speedsters and college kids watch videos of it. Okay, yeah, it's a former debate kid thing that we like to talk fast. Krista watches everything on double speed. That's impressive. And JV Red says, and with another of your old vids, Death of the Tomboy responds the pokey nerd in me. In case my profile picture to make that clear, appreciates the Nimona mention. Thank you, thank you. Oh man, that video. What a time. What a time. Yes, there's Maritza. Thank you for the donation. All right, you guys, we're gonna get started with our first writing sprint. So I am going to get up a timer. I think we'll start with 20 minutes. So for anyone who's new to writing streams in general, you get up the timer for 20 minutes and I'll put it up on screen. It'll count down. During those 20 minutes, work on your project. The challenge that I like to do for it as like a writing sprint is that I try to write as much as possible during that time without stopping. Like, so don't even think about, like, does my sentence make sense? Did I spell that right? Just write and see what comes out. I might do, that's how I usually do sprints. I'm revising my book today and rewriting some of the chapters that I need to finish revising for this new draft of it. So maybe I won't do that because it's not the first draft, it's the revision, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I end up doing with that. But I am, like... Let me see, how far am I into this revision? Let me see how many more. I'm pretty far into it right now. Which is good because I want the revision to be fully done by the end of 2025 so that I can send it to editing in January. And then, because it's coming out in June, so I gotta get a move on. Okay, I'm almost 60,000 words into the rewrite, so that's good. That's good because this book is probably gonna end up, I don't know, 70,000 words or so when the final version's done. So it's almost there. It's almost there. Now I'm gonna get up a 20-minute timer for us to do this. Okay, you do 2010s, sprint for 10, rest for 10, and repeat. That's a good idea too. 20-minute sprints are the best time blocks. Yeah, I think 20 is good because I also like 30-minute ones sometimes, but then we know, like, what I'm only gonna stream for like 2 hours, so if we do a 30-minute one, we won't have as much time to like stop and talk. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna write for 20 minutes or work on your creative project, and then when the timer's up, we'll come back together. You guys can update me on how much you got done. If you want to tell me how many words you wrote, or you want to tell me how many scenes you revised, or if you're working on something that's not writing, you want to tell me, you know, how much of your crocheting you got done, or how many squares of your quilt you sewed, or how much of your artwork you did, whatever. I'm excited to hear it. We're all here to be creative and encourage each other. Oh, this is a cute little fall timer. I'll pull up the fall timer. That'll be good. Let me full screen that. Do do do. Here we go. There it is. All right, this one's cute because it's fall. Epitaph Raven says, this was my 15th attempt at my first chapter, so here's hoping. That first chapter could be the hardest. I feel like I rewrite the first chapter more than anything else, which it makes sense because it's like, that's where you're trying to hook your reader's attention. There's a lot of pressure on the first chapter, but my advice would be, you know, I don't know if you've written the rest of the book, but like I've noticed that once I get past the first chapter, the rest of the book I'm not as hard on myself because I don't know, I think the first chapter places unique pressure on people to I don't know, I could be wrong though, I could be wrong. Hold on, actually I'm not gonna do this full screen because then I can't see my own how do I, let's see, I'll figure this out. Oh, I'll move this tab over here. Sorry, I'm jumbled because I haven't done this in so long. Alright, there we go. Now we'll get this back up. We'll get the fall timer back up. I turned the sound off on it because I don't want to get copyright claimed. Xander says, what genre is everyone working in? I'm doing a high fantasy post-apocalyptic. That is awesome. I am doing a YA contemporary coming of age. It is an own voices sapphic book with disability representation. It's about being queer and having scoliosis and leaving the Catholic Church and what else is it about? Those are the main things it's about. I feel like I was trying to channel like some Judy Blume energy in it. Armin says, I haven't written in months, wish me luck. You've got this, you've got this. My teachers with the YouTube video timers. Oh my god. Let me think about it. I feel old. I guess, you know, YouTube existed when I was in school. YouTube was founded when I was in 7th grade. But I don't know if a teacher ever used a YouTube video timer. When I was a teacher, I'd use YouTube videos, so starting a whole new book. You got this. You got this. Jester says my genre is dystopia sci-fi, I think mostly. That sounds awesome. Let's see. Okay, we've got modern paranormal. Ooh, I like that. I like when the story is contemporary but has like a little twist of some kind like that, like something like urban fantasy. I think I can easily slide into a world building when it starts in a world that I know and then I learn the rules of the world as the story unfolds rather than the whole story. Like I've always struggled with like high fantasy because I have a hard time immersing myself in a world if the rules aren't verbatim literally laid out for me. I don't know if that's autism or what. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't have the new Pokemon game yet, so whoever, JV Red who's talking about Pokemon, the last one I played was Violet and Scarlet, which was the one with Nimona. I haven't played, because I've been playing so much Stardew Valley lately, whenever I'm not working, I play Stardew Valley. Here's a question, okay? I kind of want to start playing Minecraft, because when I play Stardew Valley, I just love being in the mines. Like, I'm obsessed with being in the mines. Okay, also, I might get a new timer because that one looks AI generated. I just realized that. I don't know what it was. Something about the images were like, a few of them looked slightly off, and I was like, I don't trust it. This one looks like it has clip art instead of AI images, so we're gonna go with that instead. Yeah, we'll take clip art. But yeah, so I'm obsessed with being in the mines in Stardew Valley. I just, like, my favorite thing to do is, like, I spend all my time on the farm preparing to go to Skull Cavern. So, like, I'm just always gathering, like, iron and gold and cheese and various things so that I can then, and making staircases so that then I can wait for a really good luck day and then I can go to the Skull Cavern mine in the desert. Oh, dude, I gotta, after the stream, I'm gonna play Stardew Valley, because right now in the file I'm on, it's currently the Desert Festival. So what I like to do is I like to go do all the different Skull Cavern mining challenges. So that's why I feel like, just because I'm so obsessed with being in the mines all the time, I feel like I should start playing Minecraft. I used to play Terraria like 15 years ago, so I feel like I might enjoy it from that. Yes, we love Stardew Valley on this channel. I got behind on the chat. Or Devastation is writing lactation facts. That is very fun. I don't know much about lactation. I don't think I'm capable of it after my surgery. Um, Doing a Lovecraftian dating sim. Ooh, that sounds interesting. A family and political drama with Southern Gothic elements. Ooh, exciting. The current segment I've got going on is this major athletic event, a race that takes place on a racetrack made out of the concept of the euthanasia roller coaster. Oh my god, that sounds kind of horrifying, but also kind of, like, really super interesting, though. I'm loving the amount of fantasy and dystopian writers here. I'm not sure what genre I have. Maybe just literary fiction. I get that. I get that. Yeah, that happens too. Armin is doing an LGBTQ space opera with an analogy for the way we treat autistic people who can work versus those who can't. I need to read that. You guys are so creative. Damn, that sounds interesting. Minecraft is my procrastination game. Sav, inquiring minds need to know, how do you feel about Mayor Lewis and his alleged relationship with Marnie? Oh, that's complicated. I feel like there's kind of a love triangle going on with Marlon, right? Because isn't there, I forget which event it's at, but Marlon, you see Marlon checking out Marnie at one of the events too. And I'm gonna be real, that Marlon, that's his name, right? The who sells you the weapons, Marlon and Gil. Am I right about that? Marlon's the hot one. No question. No question. In this file, I'm about to I'm gonna marry Harvey once I'm done. I stopped dating people in Stardew Valley because I just wanted to be in the mines all day. On my previous Stardew Valley file that I was playing on a lot last year, I was dating like everyone in town at once. And this year, I'm like, I started dating some people just to get the cutscenes, but now I'm like, I'm done with dating. I just want to go to the mines. I think that says a lot about where my mindset is this year versus last year. I'm formatting my thing to be the main character's therapy sessions. Oh, I have a draft that's like that right now too. I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way, but right now I have a draft that's like the therapist gives the main, not for this book, for a different story that I'm in like the early stages of the first draft of, but I have one that's like the therapist is giving the main character journaling assignments in therapy and the story's unfolding through those, but I don't know if I'll be able to keep myself organized with that. That one is like a pantser book that I'm not outlining at all. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, we love the Desert Festival. We love the Desert Festival. All right, I've procrastinated enough by talking about video games. We are gonna get started with this 20-minute fall timer. We're gonna do it. Let's see how much we can do. All right, everybody, get ready. Go! Hello, everybody! So that was the first sprint! Sprint number 1 is done. How did everyone do? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how your writing went. For me, I didn't get a lot of new words written. I finished my revisions to I'm going to work on chapter 20 next, which is like in the first draft, chapter 20, what's going to be chapter 20 in this draft was 2 different chapters. So I'm going to work on combining those and rewriting them, making the changes I have and all of that. But I finished doing smaller revisions to chapters 18 and 19, which I'd already kind of revised, but I kind of revised them again and changed a few more things because it had been a few weeks since I'd looked at it, and I needed to be up to date. Like, it's hard to get back into the book without reading like the previous chapters when you haven't worked on it for a little bit. At least that's my thoughts. I'm going to take a look at what everyone is saying in the chat, and then we will do another sprint. But first, let me pull up the Writers Against Hunger page, because for those of you who joined during the sprint, we are raising money today for Feeding America. We are raising money for Feeding America to distribute food to food banks and food pantries to help with people losing SNAP benefits and things like that. Let me pull my page up. Boop. Oh, and we have now raised $250. That's so exciting. Is that the same amount as before? Yeah, I think it was. That was the same amount as before. That's okay. I'm still excited by it. Here, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Again, donating is not mandatory for anything. I'm just, trying to promote the fundraiser for this writing challenge. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. My cat cut me off at the 5-minute mark. That happens. Eggs, lots of eggs, says got 2.5 pages done. Nice. Step Lively says 1,021 words of a new chapter. Yes, good job. That's so many words. That's always like when I'm on a writing stream writing like a new book. My goal, whenever there's a 20-minute writing sprint, my goal is always to hit 4 figures. So I want, my goal is always to hit at least 1,000. And I don't always do it, right? Like, sometimes it's like, oh, I got 800 words, 900 words, whatever. But I'm like, if I hit 1,000 during each sprint, I feel like I'm on fire, That's good. Like, 1,000 words during one sprint. Yes, you are on fire. Yes, good job, everyone. Grace says, been scooting my stuff over from Google Docs to Scrivener because of the you know what? I probably need to do that too. I have heard, right? You talking about the fact that Google recently announced that they're gonna train their AI on everybody's stuff. So, which is, terrifying because all of my drafts of everything are in Google Drive and, I use Gmail for my emails and all that, so I guess this is what no ethical consumption under capitalism was made to describe. I finished 1 row of a crochet shawl, and I'm planning a Thanksgiving menu, so that's kind of creative. That's awesome. That's so cool. I'm excited. I'm going to 2 different Friendsgivings next weekend, which I'm very excited for, and then I'm going to Thanksgiving at my parents' house, and my mom loves to cook. She just wants to cook for everybody all the time, so I'm very excited for that. Cookie says, working on a birthday card, couldn't do a writing sprint. Valid. It's not always writing sprint time. Chaotic False says 390 words. Yes! Good job! I don't know how many words I got because I wasn't counting words. I'm doing revisions, but Melissa says, I started working on a scene and everyone in my apartment decided to talk to me at the same time. That is so frustrating. I'm so sorry. Lane says 2 handwritten pages. That's awesome. Handwriting takes forever too, so that's impressive. All progress is progress we didn't have before. That is so true. That's why writing sprints are great, because it's like there doesn't need to be any pressure. It's just you want to just do your writing, Just do your writing. All progress is progress. Armin says got distracted by research. That happens. That's valid. Grace says, just built character sheets for 2 of my characters and wrote a little. Yeah, character sheets are fun. I love doing, character worksheets. I guess for this book I'm writing now, my character sheets are dolls. It was just my process of, finding dolls to play each character and then, Like when I would get when I would procrastinate on it but still wanted to like be in the zone of thinking about the book, I would go on Etsy and find doll clothes people made and try to like shop for doll clothes. I wouldn't buy most of them. I just add a ton of them to my cart to be like, what would this character wear? And then I'd have like a clear visual of like what they're wearing and like what I'd look at different outfits on Etsy and be like, would this character wear this? Would this one wear this? Would they buy this outfit? And then I would remove like 90% of them from my cart and buy a couple of them. But that's what I was doing for this. I'm kind of wondering if at some point I should do like, I don't know if I'll ever do this, so but I might at some point want to do like an illustrated version of some of my books, but they would be like illustrated, not like drawings. They would be like doll photography, so I could like set up scenes of the dolls doing certain scenes from the book and have those printed in the illustrated version. That might be a future project. Like when I get this book done, maybe I'll go back and do that as like a special edition or something. I don't know. That's an idea that floats around in my head sometimes, especially with this book, because I have assigned 6 of my dolls to be characters for this book. So it's like I have 6 dolls. I could set up so many scenes with that. Epitaph Raven says, I like this draft so far. Yes, that's always a good feeling. Chaotic Fall says, I'm going to make myself more coffee like a fool. I feel that. I gave myself a rule a few years ago where I was like, if it's after 10 p.m., it's decaf. But nowadays, I'm like, I think we're going to need to bump it even earlier than that. I think I'm just not going to have any more coffee today. I was so exhausted. I've been exhausted for like the past couple of weeks. This has just been so tiring lately. Whitney says, I've been writing, but nothing serious. Still writing, and that matters. Otter Dark says 430 words. Yay! Nice job! That's awesome. Minty says, can't donate, but we'll share the link. Yes! Yes, that is great. Yeah, and by the way, there's no pressure to donate. So, like, if you don't want to donate to, like, or you can't financially, like, no pressure. I just figured through doing the stream, it would help publicize the link so more people would know about this challenge and know about the fundraiser we're all doing. And sharing the link is equally important. So, awesome. Eggs, lots of eggs says, can I share some bits of my writing? I think I did well with it. Yeah, go ahead. I don't think like the stream chat allows links unless you're in mod, and I set mod privileges like years ago, so I don't remember how to set them. So you probably can't post a link, but if you have like a couple like sentences or something you want to share, sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Minty says, going to join in. Been meaning to write a story I've had an idea for a while. I love that. 7 new character shells, 11 placements, 12 profile fills. Nice. Good work. Good work. Oh, yay! This fundraiser link is 100% going to our local former Nano Discord server. Yes! Thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you so much. Jess Talks Book says, only 280 words. I'm not a fast typer. Valid. Oh, yeah, the AI. Yeah, I'm so mad that Google's doing that. I think it's so stupid how it's like, you can't avoid. I'm trying to avoid AI stuff as much as possible. I'm trying to avoid it. It's like trying to take over, and I think it's kind of scary. When it first, it started getting popular like 3 years ago or so, I feel stupid that I didn't take it seriously. Like, when AI stuff first came out, I was like, oh, I get it. People will use this to make Ben Shapiro say swear words. Nobody will ever use this for nefarious purposes. It's because I am, like, I'm so dumb about these things, and now I'm like, holy shit, this thing needs to go. Especially because it's like, with AI stuff, like, and I don't mean all AI, right? Like, assistive AI is fine, and, like, certain AI, like, machine learning used for, like, analyzing data sets. I'm talking about, like, ChatGPT and Gemini and those shitty companies. It's frustrating because, like, they've come out and said that, like, if they didn't train it on users' data without their consent, then they would go out of business. And it's like, cool, then you can't afford to run this company. Most companies, when they can't afford to run a company, go out of business. That's the free market, bitch. Like, it's just so frustrating. I'm not a fan. I hate what they're doing. Finished a history quiz. Nice work. Xander's making the transition from Google Docs to Scrivener. Maybe I need to get Scrivener. I've never used it, but maybe I need to get it. I use Atticus for formatting books, but I don't like it you can write your books in them. There's like where you can put your text, but it sometimes freezes up and I don't trust it to save and back it up, so we'll see about that. Wait, what? Google will clock creative works as what the fuck? They will do what? I'm so fortunate that's never happened to me. They'll lock you out of your work for doing what? So like there like bots like scanning your work? That's creepy. I got really annoyed at Google Docs once because it put a red underline, like, you know when it says a word spelled wrong, it put a red underline under the word businesswoman, and it didn't put a red underline under the word businessman. So it recognized the word businessman, but not businesswoman, and I was like, there's something wrong with this. The one and all, what's up, Phineas? How you doing, Phineas? Good to see you, man. I'm doing pretty good. I'm here with, this is, Jesus. He goes by Chewy, and he's a side character in my book. He's helping me write. Records Across the Light Screen says, "It is I, Mayonaka Midnighter, coming live from my Creative Works account." Welcome, welcome. 69 Snarky Shark says, "Lack of vitamin D can make you tired, so I've been blaming the lack of sun." That's, yeah. Especially when daylight savings time rolls around. It's so frustrating. It gets dark too early right now. Xander says, "Anyone with advice on writing enemies to lovers? I'm writing one without having read very many myself." They're fun to read. You should read more of them. Advice on that? When I write enemies to lovers, I think part of the fun is adding something, like the rivalry should have at least from my perspective. When I write enemies to lovers, I like to have the rivalry have some level of being goofy or like some sense of humor to it, so that when they do eventually get together, you can tell the chemistry was there. Otter Dark says, "The Google AI summary stuff has had info that's questionable or clearly wrong." Yeah, it's so frustrating, especially because it's so easy to spread disinformation on the internet. And like, there are people, like when I'm on social media and stuff, and I'm like trying to learn, especially because like if you, with the whole shit with the Epstein files going on right now, so much of mainstream media seems to be compromised. And that's very frustrating because it's like, okay, so now we have to go to alternative media sources. Okay, but now AI is getting involved and like summarizing everything. And I have people, like I see people on Reddit or Threads or whatever that'll be like, their fact check of something is they'll like post a screenshot of what the Google AI summary said. And I'm like, you can't, that's not reliable. You can't go by that. It's just really, it's so easy to lie to people on the internet nowadays. It's really frustrating. If I want lazy content that winds up being hurtful, I just go to Daily Wire. Can you tell I like John Green? I love John Green. I have a John Green quote as a tattoo, and I have a Hank Green quote as a different tattoo. Enemies to lovers. So this is Step Lively's advice for enemies to lovers. Make sure they have a genuine reason to be enemies, like actual enemies. That drama should be upfront, and then slowly they can realize they like one another. I completely agree. I completely agree. Yep, agree about your AI opinion there. And yes, with enemies to lovers, if they both are valid in their, yes, if the reason they have for hating each other, they both are valid in it, yeah. Because then you don't want to take sides where you think one character is awful and one character is the victim, because then when they get together, it'll be like, well, I hope the other character apologized for that. Minty says, "My advice for enemies to lovers, have the physical attraction be there from the beginning and or keep the characteristics consistent. It's less satisfying when the lovers part comes out of nowhere." Agree. Yeah. I agree. It's like, yeah, when someone, maybe this is like a cheat code, but I always like, when I'm writing enemies to lovers romances, I'll usually have one character like have a dream where they're fighting, and then the fight turns like sexual in some way. Like they'll be fighting and then they'll suddenly kiss in the middle of the fight in the dream, and then they'll wake up and be like angry about that or something. Maybe that's like a cheat code now because I do that so often, but that's a thing I do sometimes. Alright, so lots of people recommending Scrivener. I will check that out. Games Workshop will steal your CV, attach stories, and reject your application. What the fuck? Why is everyone stealing shit on the internet? I've had several friends had it happen to them. Bots scanning the docs. If you have some violence... What? Jesus. Okay, I gotta switch to Scrivener, I guess. My stories aren't even usually violent. But jeez. Yeah, he goes by Chewy. It's spelled C-H-U-Y. That's how I actually wanted to spell my dog Chewy's name. His name was spelled Chewy, C-H-E-W-I-E, at the shelter. So I wanted to change the spelling, but I figured it doesn't matter if I change the spelling because he's just gonna hear it. Like, he's a dog, he can't read. So it was still spelled that way in my mind because I like when dogs have human names. But now there's a human. This is human Chewy. I discovered... Okay, oh, cool, yes. Phineas is also in Chicago and says, I discovered another cute Andersonville cafe called Copy? I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I know which one you mean. When I sometimes go to Eli T. We've talked about Eli T. I sometimes go to Eli T and I pass it on my walk to Eli T. Shout out to Chicago small businesses. Egg says, this part's supposed to show the main character masking. He's autistic. Okay, don't talk too fast, don't stutter, maintain eye contact, damn it. That's relatable. I cannot do eye contact, and I'm always talking too fast. So that's relatable. The Pup says, I have 2 separate writing projects currently in the works, all fantasy-based, and involve vet med and a cast of various queer characters. That sounds great. I work for a news outlet. The AI summaries freaking yeah, they suck. Alright, so before we head into another sprint, we're gonna check on the fundraiser because it's up to $300 now. That's amazing. Alright, so the fundraiser for people who have just come in, this writing stream is part of a writing challenge called Writers Against Hunger. This is the, it's a virtual food drive for Feeding America to help, with the fact that people have been getting their SNAP benefits and food stamps cut. So let's do a shout out to Anonymous. I was like, I'm so excited to give a shout out to who donated $50. It was Anonymous. Shout out to Anonymous. You're killing it for us, Anonymous. I appreciate it. With 300, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's great to see. I'm gonna get another timer up here. Let me try to 20-minute timer. Let's see. Let's find a theme. Is there like a... Maybe I'll do a... Let me see if I can find like a holiday themed one. Because we just did a fall one. The problem is so much of this is like shitty AI generated looking stuff. This one just looks like a stock photo. Here's one with pumpkins. Alright, we've got one with pumpkins in a stock photo. Xander says, thank you everyone for your advice. I'm writing this all down. I'm so glad. That's what's so fun about these type of streams. We can all give each other writing advice. And Step Lively says, I'm sad I gotta run, but I have to do a co-op race of a randomized video game. Valid. Valid. Lately I've been enjoying watching, like... Just like randomized video game reminded me. I'm enjoying watching people do their playthroughs of Stardew Valley with different like restrictions. Like they're like, I'm gonna see how far I'm gonna complete the Stardew Valley Community Center without ever leaving the farm, or something like weird things like that. Or no, it was like I'll get to a certain amount of money without ever leaving the farm. I'll complete the community center on 0 energy, like things like that. I've been watching those. They're very fun. All right, let me share the screen so that we can head into our next writing sprint. I do use Discord. I did have a Discord at one point for my channel, or like for my Patreon, but I had a hard time keeping up with it. I just use I use Discord casually, like to play games with my friends. So I don't have like an official Discord for like channel stuff, but I'm on Discord just to like play games with friends. You can DM me on Instagram or something if you want to send me a link so we can be Discord friends. That's fine. Um, Minty says, I've been wanting to stream playing old PC edutainment games. Oh, you should! Oh my god, that used to be one of my favorite things to do is, like, I'd get super high and put on all of the, like, Windows 95 edutainment games I played when I was, like, 5 years old. um... Which John Green book should I read? Fault in Our Stars, Will Grayson, or Will Grayson. I loved that book. That book, I think that was the book that introduced me to David Levithan before I knew that he was one of the main editors on the Babysitters Club. Alright. We are gonna do a 20-minute writing sprint. I should probably put a banner up on the... Yeah, there we go. Right until the timer runs out. I have that one from my old streaming days. Alright, guys. 20 minutes. We're gonna do another writing sprint, and then we'll come back and talk about what we accomplished, and we will check on the fundraiser again. Oh, I should put the fundraiser link up instead of the banner. Boop. Boop. There we go. Alright. See you guys in 20 minutes. 3, 2, 1, and go. Hey everybody, we are back. That was the second sprint. I hope everyone had a good time. Let me know how you did. And we have increased the donation amount, so let's give a shout out to everyone who has donated to the fundraiser. Here we go. So there's the link again. I just reposted it in the chat for anyone who needs it. For anyone who's new to the stream, we are doing a fundraiser for Feeding America as part of the November writing challenge called Writers Against Hunger. We have now raised $355 total. Yay! So I want to give a shout out to the newest 2 donations that came in. Grace S. Shout out to Grace S. Thank you for donating. And to Lydia Dollison. Shout out to Lydia. Thank you for donating. That's awesome. I can't believe we're up to $355. And let me take a look also, because again, this is only my page. This is my team page on the thing. But then Writers Against Hunger as a whole, for all the writers together who are working on this, $21,787 total. So I just love this. I love when like everybody works together. It's kind of like, you know, the American Girl doll stickers I sold recently that I donated $11,000 to charities. That was fun because it was like, that's such a big amount of money, but it's like coming from so many different people, and it's amazing how when people come together we can do really cool things. So anyway, this is what's going on with Writers Against Hunger. And now we will take a look at the chat and see how everyone's doing. In my story, so in my revisions, I was on chapter 20. From the first draft, I was combining 2 chapters into chapter 20, and because I've changed some things in the story from how the first draft originally was, like changed certain things about like the love interest's background and her motivations and things like that, I now have a bunch of things in chapter 20 that I need to rewrite and like figure out a new location and a new, like the emotional core of the scene, how I'm going to have that play out without the same exact plot elements being in play for that. So I didn't get all the way through it just yet. I got partway through it, but I'm now over 60,000 words into this new draft, and so that's good. I'm gonna have a lot of like new writing to do from this point forward in the book because like everything is new at this point. So maybe I'll host more writing streams for that later on. We'll see. I can't promise anything because I'm a little bit overwhelmed lately, but that's going to be my like end of November and all throughout December goal. So that's going to be the more concentrated part of this revision because I've got a lot of new stuff to write from this point forward. I've kind of finished with the revisions that involve just like, oh, we're going to make some tweaks, change how the scene plays out a bit, but it's like at this point, no, it's a lot of new stuff I have to write. So we'll see how that goes. But let's see. Where was I in the chat? Minty says I have a folder of Living Books games ready to go. I don't think I played those, but that sounds really fun. That's awesome. Yogi Writer says, just finished my memoir. Any publishing and promoting? That's exciting. A memoir? I've tried writing a memoir on and off, especially because when I was in grad school, I took a memoir writing class, and it was a lot of fun, and I learned so much, and I wrote a few pieces that I was really proud of, and I was like, I gotta figure out how to put these together into something. But then memoir writing is hard because it's like, I feel like in order to write a fully honest and complete memoir, you have to put other people's business on blast, and I don't wanna upset anyone. Princess Patches is here. Hello. I literally graduated my business class last night. Congratulations! Oh my god, that's so exciting. Congrats. Yogi Writer says, any publishing and promotion ideas for my memoir? Ooh, are you involved in any like book or reader groups online? Like in terms of any publishing advice, like have you chosen a publishing route you're gonna go yet? Like, do you know, are you planning to pitch it to an agent, planning to pitch it to a small press, planning to self-publish it? What I mean, at this point, the opportunities are endless. The world is your oyster. This is good advice from Princess Patches saying, what about doing storytime videos to get people used to your style? Is that for like the memoir? Because that, oh, why is this banner still up here right until, sorry about that. Let me take that down. Boop. But yeah, for like promoting a memoir, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I like that. My dog needs cuddle. Yeah, I've been cuddling my dogs all day. It's been... It's not like super cold here yet, but it's starting to get a little colder, so I'm excited to have dogs to cuddle. Take-Two Productions. Would you ever make another movie? Like, another... like, compared to what? Like, another movie... I don't think I've made a movie since college. No, that's not true. I've done a couple 48-hour film festivals. I made a couple short films. But, like, I just mean, like, when you say another movie, what are you referring to as the movie that already exists? But yes, I would. I am not at a position in my life right now where I can make a movie, but that is... I have a lot of, like, goals in the back of my head for future things when I'm done with all the projects that I am working on now and have a bigger budget to be like, as I'm like, you know, doing better at certain things, I can sort of expand the budget for like, as my channel's grown, now I can expand the budget for book promotion. So this new book release that I'm doing next year, I'm doing a lot more interesting things with, like I'm going to be doing book boxes, I'm going to be doing themed jewelry to go along with the book, I'm doing special stickers. So like, now that I have a bigger budget, I can do more with that, right? So like, as things grow, I'm like, maybe in the future, as those things grow more, I can put together a budget, and I would love to make a movie in the future. Yes, I would. Math says hello. At that point, yes, we were sprinting. Yes, we were. Lanthanum12 says, I'm so excited. I'm going to work on some fan fiction. Awesome. I love fan fiction. Math says, I've been stuck on the same scene for 2 months now. I know that feeling. This book that I'm revising now, like I said, was originally my NaNoWriMo 2023 project, and I wanted to originally release this book like 2 years ago. Not 2 years ago, because that's when I started writing it, but like, I've postponed, like, I originally had other plans to release it a lot sooner, and then just so many things got difficult in my life that I had to put it behind other things that were more immediate, so I'm really happy that I'm finally getting back to it. But I know that feeling of being stuck on something. Chaotic Fall, another 388 words. Yay, nice job. Grace says, wish I could do more, but we're coming into a lean time of year in my household. That's relatable, yeah. It's tough for a lot of people right now, which is, again, why I want to let everyone know, while we're doing a fundraiser for Feeding America, please know that there's no pressure to donate. Of course, I'm going to give big thank yous to everyone who does, but there's no pressure because, again, like, the reason we're raising money to help each other is so that we can all not have to have such a hard time. So don't ever give money to something if it's going to make you have a hard time, because we're trying to make everyone have an easier time right now. Lane says, rewrote a scene to raise the stakes because I realized I resolved conflicts too quickly. Yeah, I've been there. And that's a place where I'm feeling like I'm like in this section of the book right now. Like, I need this, the main character is like the romantic subplot is about to resolve, so then the other plots can resolve. And I feel like there needs to be a little more tension before it, like, within this chapter, because this chapter is just everything's coming too easily to the character in this one. So I feel like she wants to ask her love interest to be her date to her sister's wedding. There's been a lot of other obstacles in her way, and those obstacles have passed, so now she just has to get up the courage to actually do it. And I'm like, I don't want her to just, like, alright, she's gonna do it! Like, I feel like there needs to be something else, so I'm trying to figure out what to add in there to raise the stakes of this scene, too, so I kind of get that. 69 Snarky Sharks. During these sprints, I have been finishing 1.5 pages, which is good despite me just being stuck on what to write until this session. Yeah, good job. Good job. Yeah, sometimes, like, I think writing sprints help me a lot in the sense that, you know, sometimes it's easy to get stuck, but then when I'm doing the sprint, I'm like, all right, it's time, I gotta do it. And then it forces me to just start doing it. And, you know, you will come up with something. You will come up with something. Epitaph Raven says 468 words and not wanted to delete the whole thing. Nice! That's good. It's a good feeling when you get something done and you're really proud of what you did. Minty says, I started writing, got distracted by my animation app, and started a flip book. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds really cool. Otter Dart got 251 words. Nice job. Just Talks Books got 220 words and topped Rabbit's Hay for the night. Very nice. The Pup says, I didn't write anything. I just ended up rereading a chapter of one of my fanfics. That happens. Like, the first sprint, I made, like, small tweaks and did some revising, but also a lot of it, I also just had to reread some of the chapters, especially because, like, when it's been a few days, you, like, need to reread what you wrote previously to get yourself in the mindset to remember, oh, yes, I remember where I am and where I'm going, and at least for me. Devastation, yay for more writing streams. I do want to do more. I've been so overwhelmed this year, so, but yes. Grace says, more streams. My ADHD ass needs accountability buddies, even virtual ones. I also enjoy going to other authors' writing streams, so I should make... maybe I'll make a post on my community tab where I'll tag some other writers who regularly do live streams, like multiple times a week, because I tend to pop up in the chat in those and see people. So even if I'm not available to host a stream, I still will go to people's streams, so we could still make that happen. Yogi Writer says, yes, it's about growing up with disabilities. I'd be super interested to read that. That sounds awesome. Coffee Please says, hey Savvy, what's your favorite thing about living in Chicago? Oh, that's an interesting question. What is my favorite thing about living in Chicago? I love this city so much. I love that I don't have to have a car. I have no interest in ever owning a car. With the exception that, like, I could see maybe one day in the distant future, like decades, 2+ decades down the line, I could see myself getting like a big like hippie van kind of thing. I could see myself doing that one day, but I have no desire to rely on a car. I don't enjoy driving. I find it stressful and dangerous, and so I also, like, I like living somewhere where I can take public transit, where I can walk places. I like that it's a walkable city, basically. And it's not, like, perfectly walkable, you know? There's some places that are more road heavy, but there's always a bus or a train. So, I like that I can walk most places I need to. I really enjoy walking, and for the most part, if the weather's nice and it's less than 2 miles away, I'm gonna walk there. I don't like when I'm somewhere where I can't easily walk places. Like, if I go visit people in another place and I'm like, oh, okay, I want to go out and get coffee right now. Well, there's nowhere to walk, and you have to drive to get anywhere. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. So that's one of my favorite things. Hi, Gaia. Hey, baby. My puppy's here. So I like that. I like the food. There's a lot of great food here. Every neighborhood has so much to offer, and, like, there's even just, I'm not gonna, like, say specifically where I live, but, like, even in my neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods, and just, like, the in general, everywhere has, like, such a diverse array of food, where you get food from all kinds of different cultural backgrounds, different countries, different, and then just, like, different restaurants in general. There's so much good food here. I don't like to drive, and I don't like to cook. I like to get takeout and go out to eat as much as possible. I'm one of those people. But my mom really likes to cook, so I also like that my parents live nearby. They're not, like, in Chicago. They're a little bit north, so they're like right over the Wisconsin border. So they're, like, technically in Wisconsin, but they're like about halfway between Chicago and Milwaukee. So yeah, I don't know. I like a lot of things here. It does get really cold in the winter, but I have a lot of, like, really nice warm clothes right now, and I have 2 dogs to cuddle with. Accountabilities. Accountability buddies. Is that from South Park? When they send Butters to conversion therapy, yes, I'm accountability buddy. Coffee Please says, I love putting on a stream while I'm drawing. Next best thing to IRL body doubling. Agreed. It's so helpful for me too. I hear that a lot with ADHD. It might be an ADHD thing. Uncle Sam says, I'm the opposite. I enjoy driving. It's very therapeutic for me when it's not rush hour or anything but a late night highway driving, not speeding, just driving. A good pray and driving always helps me. That's great. That's great. I wish I could be one of those people that feels comfortable driving, and I mean, in part it might be just because I walk everywhere, so, like, I don't get as much regular driving experience. I have driven really, like, once in this past decade. I guess not just once. I drove when I took a trip to Colorado to go to a music festival over the summer, and it was 2 hours outside of Denver, so I rented a car and I drove for 2.5 hours to get there. And before that I was like, I haven't driven since in like 2015 maybe. I didn't drive for like 10 years, so my license expired and then there was no record of it. It was a whole thing, and then I had to go take all the driving tests again. Never apologize for crappy grammar. We're not, this is not a formal setting. Are you going to review Gabrielle Bernstein's books? Her writing course is a waste of time. I did review the writing course like 3 years ago. I reviewed the writing course. Or I don't know if there's a different one now. I reviewed the one, like the webinar series she had on that like 3 years ago. I think I had gotten some of her books to review, but then I needed to clear out space, so I might have dropped them off I might have donated them, or I might have kept, I honestly don't remember. I might. I have so many books to review right now, so I might. If I still have them and didn't get rid of them, then I will. Phineas says, one of my favorite things with the city is no one cares after one bad social interaction because you encounter so many peeps in a day. Yes, okay, there's something valid to this, because when I'm on the American Girl subreddit, I always see people being like, how do you guys get over the fear to take your dolls in public? And I'm like, what fear? And people are like, don't you never afraid that when you take your dolls out in public that people will judge you? And I'm like, bro, like, I get on Chicago public transit with my dolls sitting in my lap, like fully in matching outfits with me, and I can guarantee it's not even in the top 10 weirdest things everyone else on that train car has seen that day. It's not like Chicago's that weird. It's just like there's so many people here. It's a huge city. There's so much going on. So it's like nobody's gonna notice. And I think what's great about Chicago is that like we've got the Midwestern friendliness, but also the city type people staying out of your business, right? Because like people talk about the friendliness of the Midwest, but then if you go to like small towns or things like that, people are still going to be up in your business. And whenever I go like visit people, like visit like my family in like Wisconsin or like any other parts that are nearby but more suburban or rural, everybody knows everybody's business, and it's frustrating. Everybody cares about like what people are doing to decorate their home or who's doing, and like I could not live caring about any of this shit. So in Chicago, I would say, yeah, people are friendly, but people also let you mind your business, and I like that. I think it's got a great balance of that. Grace says moving to the Boston area after North Carolina is a relief food wise. That checks out. I have some in-laws in North Carolina, and it's beautiful. I love seeing like the nature and all of that. There's a lot I enjoy visiting, but also when I wake up and I'm like, I want to go get myself some takeout. Well, there's nowhere you're gonna walk for that. You can walk for an hour and you'll still be nowhere. Let's see. Boop 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 boop. Minty says, I feel spoiled. Okay, I lived in the Philly area for a couple years, so I moved around a lot. My family's originally from Chicago. I moved around a little bit when I was a kid, and I did spend a few years living in the Philly area. My favorite thing, I didn't enjoy living on the East Coast. I'm not an East Coast person. My vibe doesn't match. But the one thing I like about the East Coast is Wawa. Fucking love Wawa. I have some friends who live out there, so every time I go that way to visit, I'm like, we're going to Wawa, and now I've introduced like all my Chicago friends to Wawa, and everyone is sold on it. So we love Wawa. Wawa stands over here. Whitney's near the mountains. Ooh, that's fun. I enjoyed being in Colorado and driving through the mountains. Like, I didn't enjoy the driving part, but I enjoyed the mountains. And I enjoyed that, like, I'm one of those people who, I think driving should be a slow activity. I do not think we should be driving fast. So I like that when I was driving through the mountains in Colorado, it was like there were tons of slow moving vehicles. It was mostly like one lane traffic. There were so many curves. I'm like, we're driving slow. You're not making me go 65. That's insane. What's wrong with you? If you love Wawa, you gotta check out, but I've heard so many good things about Buc-ee's. I don't think I've ever been to a Buc-ee's. I can't remember though. We need Wawa on Culver's Cultural Exchange. I love Culver's too. I love cheese curds. I just love fried cheese curds. Wawa, get a soft pretzel and a hoagie in your honor. Yes! I also think Wawa has a lot of, they have so many coffee options, and I just love how it's like when I've described Wawa to other people in Chicago, I'm like, it's a gas station that you want to get dinner at. I guess Buc-ee's is supposedly like the same kind of idea. But I just love that, like, there's so many options. You go up to, like, the little screen and you tap the I love it. I love Wawa. The pup says, I currently live in Austin, a blue spot in a red state. Transit is touch and go, but there's all sorts when it comes to food. The Indian restaurants where I live are a dime a dozen. I like Indian food. I think Indian food's really good. Alright, we're going to take a look because there's been more donations. So we're going to talk a little more about the fundraiser and then we will wrap up. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, we have raised $455! Shout out to Anonymous, who donated $100. Great job! That's awesome! So guys, we raised $455 for Feeding America. That is so great. Thank you guys so much for this. And don't forget, I'm going to link to the General Writers Against Hunger page. There we go. This is the General Writers Against Hunger website for the fundraiser for this November Writing Challenge. So far, the challenge has raised $21,787, which is incredible. And I really appreciate, first of all, everyone who donated to the fundraiser. Awesome. I really appreciate you. I also, even if you didn't donate to the fundraiser, I appreciate you guys being here, because just like being here helps the stream get promoted in the algorithm because there's more viewers, which means we can promote it to more people so more people know about the fundraiser. And I also appreciate people who shared the fundraiser, who linked to it, who sent it to friends. So thank you all so much for supporting this effort. It's been really great to see you know, people come together and try to make amazing things happen. So that is the link for that. I'm gonna wrap this up because I've been on here almost 2 hours and I'm kind of hungry, and I'm gonna probably play Stardew Valley and play with my dolls and cuddle my dogs and whatever else I feel like. I'm just exhausted all the time lately. I'm sure you guys understand. So I will see you guys, let's see, I don't have a video coming out this Friday or next Friday. I have a video coming out December 5th that I'm working on. We're going to talk about Stickergate, and then December 12th I'm going to do my Empress Teresa review. So I'm working on both of those videos right now. So those are in the works, and I will see you guys then. Hopefully there will be time for another writing stream, but I'll let you guys know. I'll post on my community tab about it, and if not, then I'll make sure to recommend some other channels who are streaming so that you guys can go enjoy those as well, and I'll pop up in the chat. I hope everyone's November writing projects are going well, and that you guys had fun being creative in the stream. I will see you guys soon, but have a great start to your week. Bye, friends.